Joining us now, Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Your reaction to this report, you know, the Democrats keep saying they're about security. The best form of security is to stop those protests, because that opinion is not even out yet.
Right. Well, look, we are completely supportive of people's the right to peacefully assemble. Although there's a special law when it comes to justices, and justices, especially in the deliberations process, and that's why I wrote a letter along with many of my colleagues over a month ago to Merrick Garland to look into these threats that we're seeing to not just justices, but also, you know, in the midst of this, we found out and was discovered that Justice Kavanaugh had a death threat against him and an attempted assassination, and it was not aired on any other news station other than the Fox channel. So why isn't this, you know, top line news for the country when we see a Supreme Court justice being threatened with their life with an impending decision? Everyone has the right to peacefully assemble. We just asked that the law be enforced, and that's 18 U.S.C. 1507, which allows protests, but not at the homes of justices, not with beating drums, not with death threats, especially in the light of what happened to Justice Kavanaugh.
Yeah, and critics keep feeling like they're playing with fire, right, Congresswoman? I mean, we have the pro-abortion group Jane's Revenge declaring, quote, it's open season on pro-life crisis pregnancy centers. This is domestic terrorism threats. And the question is, why isn't AG Garland and the DOJ acting on this? Because the group has a history of attacking property. They took credit for vandalizing a pregnancy center, a resource center in Des Moines, Iowa. We've got one report said nearly 24 to 5 cases of pro-abortion violence and intimidation in at least 20 states since the leak of that Supreme Court opinion.
Yeah, we also had one in Buffalo, New York, where nearby my district. We're going to be doing a press conference tomorrow with governor candidate Lee Zeldin, also the Senate Minority Leader Rob Ortt, also another Senator George Borrello from the nearby districts, and we're going to be talking about this attack on these crisis pregnancy centers by these groups while this decision is pending. And we're not expecting this decision for another couple weeks, but you know, we should be able to have peaceful protest in an appropriate way, but in front of justices' offices. Remember, judges are not legislators. They're supposed to be independently interpreting the Constitution. They're not in a legislative position like we are in Congress. And that's why this is vitally important, that we preserve their independence and make sure that they have the protections. And it's just inappropriate and obnoxious, especially to be in front of justices' homes where they have young children, where it's intimidating and they're disrupting their lives, especially someone like Justice Amy Coney Barrett, who has 7 children.
Right. AG Garland said last September he would investigate crimes against pregnancy centers. Watch the Attorney General avoid the question of why he's not enforcing the law he swore an oath to uphold when it comes to the justices' homes. Watch.
Are you open to prosecuting some of the protesters at the homes of the justices?
So, where's A.G. Garland on this?
He is so politically disastrous as the Attorney General. He refuses to do this because he doesn't agree with the position politically, and he's intimidated by the left-wing mob that's out there trying to force this decision. And by the way, I come from New York State. In the event that the leaked Alito decision comes out from the Supreme Court and looks anything like it does, which would strike down Roe versus Wade, that means that late-term abortion up to the moment of birth will be legal in the state of New York. It is now going to be up to the states and the legislatures to come up with a moral analysis of what we're doing here. When the Democrats say stuff like, we're just going to codify Roe versus Wade actually was based on a privacy standard in the first trimester. New York's law goes all the way to the moment of birth. It is an extreme position, and I hope the rest of the American people will see how extreme the Democrats' position is and how Merrick Garland is protecting an extreme position and also protecting people who are basically domestic terrorists and what they've been doing and what they've been threatening.
And, you know, we've got to move on to this. You know, voters are sick of the crime and mayhem. So are prosecutors inside DA offices. The felon who killed 2 Los Angeles area police officers Tuesday night, he was set free because of Los Angeles DA George Gascon and his office's weak on crime policies. He's a known gang member. He's Justin Flores. He was facing a minimum 32 months in prison last year, a violent felon in possession of a firearm. He's got a track record, a criminal record. He got a plea deal, only 20 days, 2 years probation. He has a lengthy criminal record dating back to 2006. He was let out and he went on to shoot 2 police officers.
You know, this is the kind of stuff that is the Democrats just don't want to understand. They have, I mean, Gascon, he's another one that should be recalled, never should have been elected. But this is a George Soros-based prosecutor that was propped up and now is, causing harm to people all across California. And we have the same kind of issues going on in New York City. We have Alvin Bragg, who refuses to get tough on crime in New York City. We have in Rochester, New York, we have a record amount of crime because we have these loose laws, and also the Democrats want to attack lawful gun owners. This kind of guy. This is when you need to prosecute illegal gun crimes.
Okay.
This is these are the kind of people we need to keep off the streets.
Congresswoman Tenney, it's great to have you on. Come back soon.